Howdy all, Mogox Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. Man. I don't have any kind of parts for a gun. I just saw that I can make a tactical assault rifle, which is my favorite gun, I think. I don't know, they've changed the guns in this, and I have not really managed to get past pistols so far. If I can get my hands on either one of those or some machine gun parts, I have the ability to make one. So I think I saw a, oh hey. I think I saw a, I don't think I've seen a zombie like this before. Oh, why am I on my bare hands? Jeez. Great. Did she die? Does a band-aid fix this? Okay. I was thinking well, I've suffered a deep laceration. And I need I need to get these painted so I know which is which here. I need one of these. Let's do a little stitching. There we go. So, yeah, so I thought I saw you go down here, a Shotgun Messiah factory, which I know are super tough to get through, but I thought I would go take a gander in there. So we just need to head out north. North? Well, we want to go over here. So I need to head north of this little road here, I guess. So we we played our D&D this week. It was all right. It I don't know what he thought we were supposed to do, I guess. And he doesn't like give us a quest or anything. Or a clue or anything like that in some of these situations. And so we made it to the stupidest floor I've ever seen in a dungeon. The more I play adventures that are from Wizards of the Coast, now I'll admit I don't think my DM is necessarily the greatest DM in the world, but the more I play these adventures as written, let's put it that way. The more I play these adventures as written, the more I am confused about why the people at Wizards of the Coast have the jobs of making these adventures, because I don't think they're good. And there's like no stories. Maybe I'm confused as to how D&D is supposed to work, but I feel like if you're going to release an adventure book and that there's going to be a good story. And so far, I don't think I've played a D&D adventure from Wizards of the Coast where there's a good. That's not true. That's not true. The starter kit that comes with the Lost Mines of Phandalin has a pretty good overarching story that's fairly easy to tie together, except for one part. And so I do. Although that one does get a little weird in spots. It's like this is what it's like. This is what it's like. So you play D&D with your friends, and you only have a certain amount of time to play. And so they've written these books in the concept that you only have a certain amount of time to play. And so all the books are split up into these little unrelated segments that are somehow they're somehow supposed to be an adventure. Um, but because they're not related, they're just bizarre. And even Lost Nights of Phandalin or Lost Mines of Phandalin suffers from some of that, and I don't understand the way um, they think, uh, that just leaves these little broken segments. So here's the example from Phandalin. Um, so you're in, or maybe it's Phandelver. Phandalin, I think, is the town. Phandelver is the mine. Or something like that. And so you start out and you're hired to guard a shipment heading to this town, right? And you get ambushed by goblins. Okay, that's a pretty fun start. And then you find out that the guy that hired you has already been ambushed by these goblins, right? It's pretty cool. So you go into the woods and you hunt them, and you work your way through these goblin trails that have some traps in them, and you get to the mines, or not the mines, but you get to a cave, right, where the goblins are, and there's goblin watchers and some ambushers, and you get in the cave, and there's like this whole thing going on where one group one group is furious. The goblins are mad because the people who have taken over have sent this other guy to control them, and they don't like that, and so they've got one of the two hostages that were taken. So what it is the bad guy wants the lost mine, right? That's the whole point of the thing. He wants the lost mine. And so they have captured one of the brothers who runs the mine and this other dude that's with them. And so the goblins have the other dude, and the brother has already been sent on to someone more in charge. And so you rescue the guy, and then nobody knows anything. And it's like, what? Like, then how did they know where to send? How do they know where to send the brother? Like, I don't understand. Like, somebody in charge here, somebody's got to know something, but nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. So all you can do is move on to the town. And I hate that. Like, it wouldn't work that way. It would be like it would be like you ran a company, right? And someone gets the wrong shipment, and then they call the company and they're like, well, we don't know where the box came from. It just showed up and we sent it. Uh, Sorry." And and I'm just like, what do you mean they don't know? How do they not know where this is supposed to be? So then you go to the town. Uh, And uh, so so then you go to the town, and in the town you find out that the town has been taken over by a gang, right? And so that's a little bizarre. I thought there was a big factory here that was. I mean, I guess there's a few more I haven't looked at here. My guy's thirsty now. And so while dealing with this gang, you find out that they've taken over this ruins of a mansion that was up on the hill at one point when Fandolin was popular because of how close it was to the Lost Mine, and so so you get in there. Well, then you find out that the dude there also has ties to uh, what's going on, and so it's like, oh, okay, so we got a good story, and then no one knows anything again. Only now it gets worse in the book because at least at whoa, look at that deer just standing there. At least when we rescued the guy, we knew we needed to take the guy to the nearby town so it could get help, and we had all those supplies we had to deliver. But at that point in the book, there's no clues. There's a bunch of quests that have nothing to do with what's going on, which I hate. And then there's just no clues. None. And so what the book says is you're supposed to wander around in the forest for 1 to 2 weeks doing little random encounters until you find the information that leads you to the castle that leads you to the end of the game. I think that's awful writing. I think that's awful writing. Why isn't there? What do you mean you're supposed to wander around? Nobody wants to wander around in their limited playtime game. All right? Give me a story. Let me play in the story. If I don't want to follow the story, fine. Then we'll wander off someplace else. But no, it shouldn't just be. Yeah, we kind of just stopped figuring out how these are connected at this point, and now you're just gonna go on a bunch of unrelated things. And I do mean unrelated. Like, so you go into the town, right, with the guy, and you get a quest to go check out a necromancer who's digging around an old tower. You get a quest to go see about a ghost. She's a banshee, I guess, not a ghost, but still. Uh, uh, then there's a quest to go see about some orcs who aren't related to the story, and uh, and if you accidentally decide to wander in the completely wrong direction, then you might make it to. I mean, they tell you that this place exists, but nobody sends you there. Um, Basically, you rescue this woman, and she's like, if you happen to make it to Thunder Tree, then in one of the places my family used to run, my father or whatever, my grandfather buried a treasure, right? And then I think someone else is like, yeah, I know a guy who lives in Thunder Tree. But no one sends you to Thunder Tree. There's no quest or reason beyond, yeah, I you can get a treasure there for rescuing us if you go to Thunder Tree. But that's it. That's your whole motivation to go to Thunder Tree. And you know what's in Thunder Tree? Where to go. If you hadn't found it by randomly running into goblins in the forest and getting one of them to talk to tell you where the castle that you needed to go to was, then the druid in Thunder Tree might help you and tell you where to go. How are all these people some kind of secret evil organization who are trying to take over this lost mine that people have been searching for centuries for, not connected to each other? What do you mean? Like, shouldn't there be like a messenger that you follow or something? Like, why why is this your storyline? So, anyways, wow, I got on a huge tangent there, but it falls back into what we're dealing with here, and that is the Dungeon of the Mad Mage is the adventure we're doing, and it is so bizarrely unconnected that it doesn't even make any sense. Like, I get it's no, I don't get it. I don't get why it's called the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It's not his. He didn't make it. It's not crazy in a way that you would think a mad mage would be. He doesn't show up. He doesn't send minions. You don't talk to him. That's not a thing. That's not part of this story. Story, ha ha ha. Like there's a story to this thing. You just wander around in a dungeon with no reason to be there. Ooh, man, I wish I was a. I wish that was something useful, like I don't know, brass knuckles. Um, and so like the only reason we're doing this adventure, well, I mean, we need an adventure to do because we play, and our DM doesn't come up with his own stuff. He uses adventures, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with using the adventure. I just wish the adventure was better, and they're not. That's the problem. And so like we finished the previous adventure and we got to like level 5, right? And so this adventure starts at level 5 and continues to level 20. We've never run a campaign that long. We've never had a level 20 campaign because the adventures don't go to level 20 most of the time. Books I don't know. The last shot in the chamber does double damage. 5% less damage when wearing a suit. That's funny. No, I don't need paper. And so, oh, you know what? I didn't turn down my AC, did I? Just listen to the fan blowing super loud in the background. And so, I totally didn't even read what that book said. So, so we start this one, which starts in the same city we left off on. They were kind of like companion adventures. They weren't connected. They just happened to be in the same spot, and the one started at the appropriate level after you finish the previous adventure. And so that's why we started this one. Well, there's no story. It's just a dungeon. And it's not even a good dungeon because it's not connected. There's no reason. There's no sorry, I don't like to have these on my screen. There's no we're not trying to rescue anybody. We didn't follow anybody in. We didn't get hired by anybody to find some. I mean, we did sort of, but not really. And then once we found them, that was it. There are no more quests. We haven't had a quest since we entered the dungeon, other than the ones we got when we started. And we're on floor 5. No, floor 6. We're on floor 6 now. And none of them are connected. There's kind of a story that could be happening, but our DM doesn't doesn't do anything but what the book says. There is some kind of drow thing happening, and uh, and I get that some of the problem I'm having is that my DM does not do story. And I don't mean that he doesn't read the story as written in the book. I mean that he doesn't make up story as we go. And so you could take Dungeon the Mad Mage and apply your own story to some of it, but it's weird. It's super like none of it's connected. It doesn't make any sense. It's like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe in my head what it's like because man, there's nothing but papers today. Get out of here. What is that? What is that? What's that little green thing I was getting? Did you see that? I got hit, and then I got a bonus. Um, weird. I don't know. I don't know what that little. It was too fast. It's like 5 seconds or something. So, because we have run into like the same group repeatedly, uh, and I mean there are little stories, but nothing that connects you. Like, why would you wander from floor to floor in this place? It's not full of riches. We're definitely not getting good supplies from it. There aren't magic items. I don't know why we're here. And it's very disappointing in the amount of or the lack of amount of reason to be here. And so uh, first floor, first floor had actors pretending to be vampires. No joke. Actors pretending to be vampires. That's what we had to fight on the first floor. So we get through the first floor, we go to the second floor. Second floor has nothing to do with the first floor, and I don't even remember what happened on the second floor. Um, what was the second floor? I could look, I guess. Let me just give me a second here. Just give me a second. Let me see what the second floor was. Um, uh, oh, right, right. The second floor had like a goblin town that we interacted with very slightly, and then they that's where we met this guy who was a revenant, which is a undead monster who only exists to revenge himself or herself, uh, or their self, whatever. And so that was a little story, but it didn't have anything to do with what we were doing, other than he. Oh, here it is. I finally found it. Other than he wandered around with us until we finished off his quest, and then he vanished. In fact, we didn't even finish off his quest, if I remember correctly. We only killed two of the three people that he wanted dead, and they were awful people. And whoops. Um, and so, I mean, that was that floor, and then Uh, oh, right. So then the next floor is where we ran into the um, we had to get a ring. That was one of the quests we got when we started was we had to get a ring. And so these people on the third floor had the ring, but they wouldn't give it to us. This is some weird looking. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this color, but that is a weird thing for a couch. Um, so now we have to go to level 6 to get the dagger to get the ring. That basically. And by the time we get to level through with level 6, by the time we get to through with level 6, I think currently right now I have the spell that we could just get the ring from the guy. Like, I don't know. It's a dumb quest. It's a dumb quest, and the reward for it doesn't make it worth doing. It doesn't help us in any way. We're not. It's not. It's not like it's gonna save anybody. It's not. It's not anything. I don't understand. I don't understand the lack of motivation in these adventures. Um, this one I forgot to empty my inventory here a little bit into my bike. I don't know. And then floor 4, I think floor 4, no, floor 3 led into the city of Skullport, and then floor 4 um oh yeah, floor 4 was weird. Oh, yes, floor 4, right. I was trying to remember what happened on floor 4. Floor 4 was I guess I'll just keep those on me. Floor 4 was a um, has a bad guy on it that we opted not to fight because it's super tough. And he told us that if we just went on our way, uh, we we he would leave us alone. And so we went one room over, and he sent a whole bunch of guys to attack us. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to just keep getting attacked like this. So maybe we should just move on. I mean, there's not really anything in it for us to fight this guy, right? Right? Wink, wink, DM. There's not any reason for us to fight this guy, right? And he's like, well, I prepared all this stuff for you to fight this guy. I'm like, yeah, but why should we? We know he's super powerful. We fought one a long time ago. We know how powerful a full-on one's going to be. And we don't have a reason to fight this guy. He's already told us he'll just let us go if we just leave. So I think we should just leave. And so then we went to floor 5. And floor 5 is a couple of things I despise about my DM. One is he gets petulant if we don't do the thing he wants us to do, but he won't tell us what it is. And so there's definitely some crying about how we just were leaving the floor last night, and floor 6 is the first floor that I have even remotely enjoyed so far. But so we get to this floor 5, right? And the first thing you run into is a sign that says, this floor is owned by Willow something, and if you harm the creatures on this floor, then I will come for you. Oh man, look at my health is awful. I don't have anything. What's aloe cream do? I think you combine that with band-aids, right? To make medicine band-aids. So, oh, I gotta finish this story. So, yeah, okay, what does this do? Abrasion, healing speed, and 5 health. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure what an abrasion is. I mean, I know what it is in real life. I don't know what it is in the game, though. So, so we decide, all right, if she doesn't want us to harm, or if Willow whatever, we don't know it's a she. If Willow whatever doesn't want us to harm the animals, then we won't. So we wander around, and we wander around, and we wander around, and we wander around. There's nobody to talk to on this floor for the longest time. In fact, I think we did an entire session without talking to someone to give us something to do. And yeah. And so we finally ran into these creatures that attacked us, and we killed them because I mean they attacked us. And we're like, well, let's hope that the person Willow doesn't get mad because we defended ourselves. And then we saw a couple of bigger creatures in the distance, and I was like, we only need a little bit more, just the tiniest amount of XP to go up our next level. And I so badly wanted to fight these things to go up our next level, but we'd also agreed not to interfere with the wildlife, and so we didn't. And I talked about this before. The book says that if you, I guess the book, I said avoid, but the book actually says if you, I forget how that's termed. If you deal with the creatures without killing them, you should get the XP as if you killed them. But I feel like the creatures aren't doing anything to you, and if you leave the creatures alone, then it's not fair to be like, oh, well, you didn't deal with the creatures, so therefore you don't get any of the XP involved in killing the creatures. I hate that this is how he runs our games. I hate it. Like, sure, it's not as much, it's not as difficult to avoid a fight most of the time as it is to fight the fight. So maybe you don't give all the XP, but if the game is dependent on us going up levels and then we're not supposed to fight and we don't fight, then shouldn't we at least get some of the XP so we can continue on our way through the level to be able to go up? Because he won't let us go to the next floor until we are the appropriate level. I don't know if it's in the book. I honestly don't know if it's in the book. I'm going to check that. But he did this once before and it wasn't in the book. Oh. Is that he decides when we can move on to the next content because he thinks he's got to be in charge of almost everything that happens. We're not allowed to be creative most of the time in how we do things because I don't know. And so I felt like we're probably even at level 8 strong enough to head down to the next floor down. Um, A level is cool and all, but A level is not going to make or break your ability to kill something. Uh, it falls on roll of the dice. Sure, you might get some extra abilities that makes it easier to do the fight, but for the most part, a fight isn't going to be determined by one extra level. You got a little bit of extra hit points, right? I mean, I'm not saying that it's not going to be a tougher fight because you're not the appropriate level. What I'm saying is the little bit that you gain from going up a level probably isn't going to stop you from having a chance to win the fights. That's what I'm saying. Like, uh, it's not your armor class doesn't go up because you went up a level, right? You're not going to take less damage. You're just going to have a little bit more, and I do mean a little bit more, like 8 points. You know, uh, 8 more hit points. That's it. That's basically my fighter. My fighter went up a level and gained, I don't know, 8 hit points, we'll say, and that's it. That's all he got at his level. That he doesn't get to hit more times. He doesn't. He didn't get an ability that helps his combat. Um, his armor class didn't go up. The amount of damage he's doing doesn't go up. Uh, I guess. Oh, I thought I couldn't move for some reason. We did get 1 extra point to hit, but the armor class of the bad guys didn't go up. They're still going to take an 18 to get. We're just going to have one extra point on the die to allow us to hit that. I mean, it's not a great change. So I don't understand why he won't let us go to the next floor. So I had said that um, I made a comment that, hey, we didn't fight those things like we were told not to. Shouldn't we at least get some of that XP so that we can go up a level? He's like, no, that's not how we do it. You know, that's not how we do it. You gotta kill things to get XP. I give XP for exploration and quest completion and social engagements and all that stuff when I'm running a game. And because it's experience, right? I mean, you experience something, it's made you smarter about how to play, or at least took advantage of things that your guys can do, right? Like a bard, for example. The way our DM has it set up, no matter how much social interaction my bard does, he will never get experience. But he's a bard, and social interaction is what he does. So he's never going to get experience for his social interactions, according to my DM. So, anyways, so when we talked to the woman in charge of the floor last night, I haven't even got to what went down in our thing last night. It wasn't a lot, so I can finish this real quick. So we talked to the woman in charge of the floor, and we're like, we killed some things, but they attacked us first, and they were these creatures. She didn't give us anything for it. She was just glad it happened. And then she's like, there's ways down to the floors below. No kidding. We're in a dungeon that continuously goes down for 23 floors. I think it's like 23 floors. Uh, we're quite aware that this is a dungeon that keeps going down. Thanks, lady. You got any information that's useful? No? Okay. You got any quests for us to do? No? Then there was no point in us talking to you. At all. None. Zip. She didn't add to the story. She didn't give us something to do. She wasn't fun to talk to. Um, all she did was told us about a dragon who has a sentient sword in its head. Um, and that we need to leave the dragon alone, or else the whole she's gonna go to war with us, basically. And so we're like, okay. And then our DM is like, well, what about the goblin werebats? And we're like, well, she said to leave them alone too, because she had a truce with them. So I mean, is there a reason you want us to go over there? Well, no, but you guys could have, like, I don't know, gone and cleared them all out. I'm like, no, I don't see the point. I don't see the point in even going over there if there's nothing to do on this floor. And so then he's like, well, all right, I guess I mean, there's this other section. Like, nope, we don't need to go there. So, where's that section lead to? The seventh floor? Oh, well, we need to go to the sixth floor, don't we? We literally, our only current quest requires us to go to the sixth floor. We don't want to go to the seventh floor. We don't. And besides, you told us last week that we couldn't go to the next floor down because we hadn't gotten the appropriate level. So I don't even know what we're supposed to do here because we didn't make our next level and there's nothing to do on this floor. So I'm not sure how we're supposed to get the 400 XP we need to get level 9 so that we're allowed to go to level 6, according to what you told us last week. Well, I guess I can give you the XP you need then to go to the next floor. Oh, can you now? Can you now? She just gave it to us last week because I said last week we should get it last week so we could level up since we're about to go to the next floor, and we have to level up according to you before we can go to the next floor, and you wouldn't let us do that because we didn't kill enough stuff to get 400 XP each. Uh, yeah, I knew that was coming. I've got too much weight on me. And so in the middle, like, we talked to that woman, and then he gave us the XP to go to the next floor. Just gave it to us. So that we had to level up in the middle of a session, which can take some time. It didn't, but it could have if it had been a different level where we had more choices to make. I'm a little disappointed in this Shotgun Messiah. There was not as much shotgun end of things. And I'm so overweight, I gotta go home again. But yeah, so that was our night last night. We made it to level 6 finally. And we level 6 seems like it's going to be a lot more combat oriented. Um, and so we did some tomb robbing, which was pretty fun. Because our one guy's a thief, right? And so he's all about the traps and the lockpicks. And so we got to work our way through multiple disguised tomb. Not that the reward was worth having, but at least it was fun to work. Didn't get any XP for that, but worked our way through it. And then got attacked by an invisible thing that we fought. And it ran away, as everything that he makes us fight tries to do. They always get surprise attacks, and they always try to run away. And this guy was exactly that. He took a surprise attack, got really hurt in the one round that we got to fight him, and then on his next turn, after, like, he surprise attacked us, and then we did a normal attack round where he attacked one on his turn, and then this is not my road, although it's really close to that lady killer quest. And then he teleported. He plane shifted. Actually, went to another dimension. to get away from us. Um, which is fine, I guess. At least he said he was going to give us the XP for it. Because I was afraid he was just going to not give us XP after all that. Because this is probably not a good idea. Oh. Where'd you come from? I am a terrible aim with this pistol, wow. You want to try shooting the zombies? So, yeah. Then, I know we fought something else. Oh, we fought some, oh, we did this super annoying thing where, one more super annoying thing, and then I'll end this because we've gone on way too long. Did I complete my quest? Oh, right. Right. My map is broken. My map did not spawn in a trader. So there's no point in doing quests because we can't turn them in for the rewards. I forgot about that. So, we fought these things called... I'm drawing a blank as to what they're called. They're big burrowing creatures, and they basically have an innate confusion cast, so that if you look at them, you have to roll to see if they confuse you, and if they confuse you, then you basically don't get your turn. And so you have to not look at them when you fight them, which is fine. But he didn't give us the choice to not look at them the first round, and so we didn't surprise them, but they got to confuse us the first round, so that we didn't get to take our turn for the most part. And yeah. So it was a little annoying, but we handled the fight. It wasn't... You think I can make the... Oh, there's like a tiny little dry patch. And so that was our D&D this week. Yep. So with that, be better in the small things, lean into the light. I will talk to you later.